Hello and welcome to Musical Musings. I'm Alan Kenny. Today we're going to be talking about drummer influences. This is the first in a series of 3 videos on my favorite drummers, Alex Van Halen, Ray Lazier, and Chad Smith. First in this video I'm going to talk a little bit about Alex and his backstory. Then we'll talk a little bit about how he's influenced me over the years. And then we'll finish up with a little video tribute that I've done to one of his songs with Van Halen. So let's get started. Now, what can I say about Alex Van Halen that hasn't already been said? Not a whole lot, because it's already all out there. You can just look it up on the internet. But here's a little bit basic information in case you've been living under a rock. Alex was born Alex Arthur Van Halen in 1953 in Amsterdam. Later on, he moved with his family to the United States. His early musical education was mainly classical piano training. Both himself and Eddie were both classically trained. And later on, they both decided to take up drums and guitar. Now, it was actually the opposite way around. Eddie started out on drums and Alex started out on guitar. But while Eddie was out on his paper route paying for the drums, Alex was at home playing Eddie's drums, and it wasn't long before Alex got way better at the drums than Eddie was, so they decided to change instruments, and the rest, as they say, is history. Now, after forming a couple of bands in high school, the brothers eventually got to meet Michael Anthony and David Lee Roth and formed the band Mammoth, which eventually became, of course, Van Halen. Alright, well, I'm not going to bore you guys with any more backstory. I'm sure you already know it all anyway. So let's just get into how he's been one of my major influences and how I first got to hear about him.
Music Television USA, Vincent Henry.
America's hits on Music Television USA, Christine McVie at 17, The Police at 8, Thomas Dolby at 85, and the number 1 on America's Hot 100 this week, Van Halen and Jump. And how'd you like to jump into this?
I was late in the game coming to Van Halen. Around 1984, an Irish TV show called MTUSA played music videos from the United States. We didn't have a music television channel at the time. I remember them playing the video for Jump, and I remember being fascinated by the band and by Alex's playing, and of course the fantastic drum kit he had with 4 bass drums. Shortly after I started playing drums, and while there were other drummers that influenced my drumming at the time, no one fascinated me like Alex. The different types of kits he used, the size of the kits, the sound he got. And while we're talking about the sound, we got to talk about the Brown sound and the sound of his snare drum. Alex uses a 402 Ludwig steel snare and a Tama rosewood snare to get his unique sound over the years. For many years, I was on a quest trying to get that sound, and I went through a lot of snare drums, tweaking them, trying to perfect the Alex Van Halen sound. Of course, with maturity comes the realization that you're better off seeking your own sound. Of course, having said that, in this video I chose a Ludwig 402 to keep with the spirit of the tribute and all. So the song I chose for this tribute is Hang 'em High. I hope you enjoy it.